Good day, here are today's top stories from the Pna Headlines. The Philippine government has deployed the first batch of the disaster response team that will provide aid in earthquake-hit Myanmar. The first batch of the Philippine Interagency Humanitarian Contingent consisting of 58 personnel left Villamor Air Base in Pasay City today on board two C-130 planes around 4 a.m. The team, headed by Lieutenant Colonel Erwin Diploma, consisted of urban search and rescue teams from the Military, Bureau of Fire Protection, Metropolitan Manila Development Authority, Department of Environment and Natural Resources, Department of Health, Office of Civil Defense, and the private sector. A second batch of 33 personnel are leaving the country on April 2. The Philippine Air Force said the team is bringing with them essential search and rescue equipment and medical supplies. They will be performing life-saving operations, provide medical assistance, and deliver critical aid. The Air Force also said the mission to Myanmar affirms the government's dedication to humanitarian assistance, disaster response, and regional cooperation. Myanmar state media report that the death toll following the magnitude 7.7 earthquake last March 28 has reached 2,065. More than 3,900 were injured and at least 270 were missing, including 4 Filipinos. The Department of Agriculture plans to implement the 45 pesos per kilo maximum suggested retail price or MSRP of rice for 2 months. Agriculture Secretary Francisco Tiu Laurel Jr. said this will be done in time for the harvest season so that traders would be persuaded to buy rice from local farmers. It will also ensure that local farmers would earn more and benefit from the harvest season. The DA lowered the MSRP for 5% broken rice from 58 pesos per kilo amid the decrease in rice prices in the global market. The DA Secretary urged traders to buy local stocks at reasonable prices to ensure fair competition. The Department of Foreign Affairs confirms that the 16 overseas Filipino workers arrested for holding an illegal protest rally in Qatar are still under police custody. DFA Undersecretary for Migrant Workers Affairs Eduardo De Vega said authorities have released one of the protesters. They had also detained 3 protesters who turned out to be minors. The 3 have been released as well, but their mother remains in jail. De Vega said if a case will be filed against them, the OFWs are facing up to 3 years in detention. He, however, assured that the Philippine government will provide a lawyer for them. He also said if police are satisfied with the investigation, the OFWs may be released soon. The Philippine Embassy in Doha earlier said the detained OFWs were arrested last week while participating in a demonstration in support of former President Rodrigo Duterte. Qatar's law prohibits holding protests and demonstrations unless approved by the government. In other news, the Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas forecasts that inflation in March is expected to range from 1.7% to 2.5%. Inflation eased to 2.1% in February from 2.9% in January amid slower movements in prices of food and non-alcoholic beverages. The central bank said higher electricity rates and higher prices for fish and meat could drive up inflation. However, this may be offset by prices of rice, fruits, and vegetables which were lower due to favorable domestic conditions as well as the peso appreciation. Meanwhile, Ayala-led DPI said inflation likely to hit 2% this March. However, it said the inflation rate could go up amid the build-up of global inflation risks alongside fading favorable domestic base effects. On the other hand, BPI noted that prices of imported meat as well as those of major food items like rice and vegetables have continued to decline. The bank said the Bangko Sentral may implement rate cuts this April if inflation drops. The Philippine Statistics Office is set to release the official inflation figures on Friday, April 4. Moving on to business news, Malacanang has reaffirmed its commitment to enhance investors' confidence in the Philippines. This after the latest findings in the Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas Business Expectations Survey or BES. Palace Press Officer Undersecretary Claire Castro said the administration is working to attract investors and maintain the status of investment in the country. In the survey conducted from January 8 to March 1 this year, BES revealed confidence index rising to 45.4% from 40.3% in the last quarter of 2024. A gradual rise in business inflation is also expected in 2025, reaching 3.2% in the first quarter, 3.32% in quarter 2, and 3.42% over 12 months. Meanwhile, two companies are implementing a rollback in the price of liquefied petroleum gas on Tuesday. According to Solane, LPG prices will drop by 27 centavos per kilo starting at 6 a.m., while Petron's LPG prices will decrease by 25 centavos per kilo effective 12:01 a.m. These two companies previously implemented LPG price rollback on March 1. And that's the latest and the biggest stories on the PNA headlines. For more news updates, visit our website pna.gov.ph or our Facebook and Dex account, Philippine News Agency. The PNA Headlines is also streamed via the Servicio Facebook page. You may also watch the PNA Headlines through the Philippine News Agency's YouTube account and via the News and Information Bureau website under PNA News. I am Marita Muaje. This is the PNA Headlines, bringing stories that unite the nation.